After starting self-improvement, I've intensely tried to get 8 of my friends onto self-improvement without any luck. But that was only until I learned this very distinct secret which I'm going to teach you in this video. And this made me able to convince 5 of those same friends to go on the same path as me. First of all, you need to understand why pushing your friends onto self-improvement won't work. So there is this one thing that I've learned. And it is that humans won't do anything with like enthusiasm or happy and joy if they don't feel like it was their own idea or they don't really want to do it. And that was the reason why 8 of these friends that I tried to put onto self-improvement never did it. Because they didn't feel like it was their idea, they felt like I pushed it onto them and they didn't really want to as well. Literally, even though I hyped them up daily, I gave them advice daily, I was the dream coach that you could have for them. They never really cared and they never really did anything because they didn't want to change. And that's the thing. The problem and the reason why you can't get them to change is because they have no intent or want to do so. And you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. And oftentimes what I've experienced is that only if people think it was their own idea, that's when they would do the hard task, because we don't want to inflict uncomfort on ourselves if it wasn't even our own idea. So how do we make them believe that it was their own idea, and how do we actually make them believe that that they want to do this thing and give them the want? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you now. So this is how you get people onto self-improvement, by not pushing them but by showing them. When I realized that I couldn't push my friends onto self-improvement by constantly hyping them up and pushing them to do it, I tried a bit more of a subtle way, which was kind of like a way where I didn't even realize I was trying to get them onto self-improvement. Instead of trying to push them to do the things, I would simply just naturally only talk about self-improvement. I'd talk about meditation, making progress, habit trackers, all these things. And I'd simply only talk about topics which I enjoyed to these people. And at first they didn't really care about the new methods I was learning and what I had just recently learned. But over time some of them started to care, because the only thing that they would talk with me about was these things. It was the only thing I wanted to talk about. And because I would kind of not really push them to do anything, I would just hype it up and say how much better my life was becoming, they started to get a little more soft, and unconsciously their brain probably thought, maybe this is a good idea. And it's very funny because there was a point where I was talking a lot about focusing on one thing, kind of like locking in and being essential on that one task. And I knew that one of my friends was specifically struggling with this exact problem. And without pushing him to do anything, I just kept talking about this concept and how much that it has changed my life, and how all the benefits and all the positives. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but basically it was a real struggle of his. And when he heard how much I had had success with this and how much it had helped me, his brain would start to think, oh my god, maybe I should do this, maybe he knows something. But he didn't feel like I was pushing it onto him, because I was just explaining, oh yeah, I'm doing this and it feels really good, now I'm getting all these results. So he felt like he was kind of missing out on what I did, and he felt like he needed to absorb and know that knowledge. And the funny thing is, what ended up happening was he came to me for advice. And it doesn't matter that it was me, but he came to get advice. He came to change his life. He came and he actually wanted to get on this path. And I didn't push him ever. He thinks it's his own idea, and partly it is because I couldn't force him. But suddenly I kind of manipulated his brain into wanting to do it. And that's the way that you can get your friends onto self-improvement, is to create a want inside of them. Hype it up so much, tell about all the positives and upsides you're getting, and specifically if you know what weaknesses or bad things that's happening in your friend's life, the way that you can help them is by just thinking about how much your life changed in that specific area, because that's when they'll consider to start self-improvement. That's when they'll consider to improve that thing. Because unless they feel like there's something wrong, or that they don't have a want, they won't do it. And that's why his brain thought that, oh yeah, it's my idea and maybe I should hop on self-improvement. I can always ask Lawrence because he knows a lot about it. That's the smart way. That's the actual way to get people onto self-improvement. And if you want to get more advice like this, you can go down and click at the first link in the description. It's my self-improvement club that we have here in the background as well. It is where we know everything about how to improve your mental health, build discipline, set goals, literally everything you need on self-improvement to go from being a lazy gamer gooner to somebody who respects himself at night and actually live a happy and joyful life. And so now I want to show you how that we can use this to get more progress ourselves. And that is by only speaking about what we want. So speaking about self-improvement, hyping it up will get your friends more keen to doing self-improvement. But there's more to this. It's not just about getting your friends on self-improvement. There is actually a benefit to you if you do this. Because what I've realized is that the less I speak about something, the less I obsess over it. And the less I obsess over something, the less progress I made. And so what I realize is the more I speak about self-improvement, the more progress I make. The less I speak about self-improvement and stay obsessed with it, the less progress I make. So that's why I started only speaking on the topics in which I wanted to speak on. If my friends spoke about something I didn't care about, I wouldn't talk about it. I'd simply only invoke conversations about the things that I was interested in. And now my friends also, became interested in it, and I kind of like influenced them to also start on self-improvement. I got to simply talk about self-improvement all the time, constantly have my brain thinking about it, and then I got even more progress. That's the secret. If you want to get more progress, you want to obsess over it. And the easiest way to obsess over it is to live and breathe and only talk about self-improvement. And you can do that by influencing your friends to get onto self-improvement with the method I've just explained before. And then you can get them to just talk about self-improvement. You see them go, you feel more fulfilled because you help someone. And you get more progress yourself because you're constantly talking about it. It's literally a win-win situation to get your friends on self-improvement. And this was genuinely the only method I was able to get my friends onto self-improvement with. So yeah, go and give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was it. Put one foot in front of the other.